What's good? What's good, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Apartment 48. Hope everybody been having a great time. Great Black History Month. Fellas, how y'all doing?
Doing good.
We good over here.
He on mute. He tried to say something. He's grateful for children.
Yes, yes. We own it. We own it, baby.
All
New
right,
day.
man. We want to introduce a wonderful, wonderful guest all the way from Charlotte, North
Yeah.
Carolina, by way of the of Grace Temple. Is it Grace Church? That's right. I want to say Temple, but it's Grace
Yeah.
Church.
Mhm.
Pastor Theo Schaefer, a really good friend of ours. We
Yep.
all were down at the University of Southern Mississippi in
Yes, sir.
Hattiesburg, and we all grew together.
Yep.
Mhm.
And he moved, and the Lord led him to lead His people, and
The
so
Lord let him to lead his people.
there we go. And so we welcome him in, and this is a very special episode. If y'all remember him, back in January of 2023, we had
Mm,
him on, and we were talking about manhood and our mental state,
yeah.
and it being February of 2024, also making the 2 year anniversary of Apartment 4A. So we made it 2 years.
Hey.
Um,
Hey,
Salute. Yes.
and
there we
so
go.
we decided to bring him back because not only is he um, a husband, he's a father, he's a pastor, but now he's an author.
Oh
And
yeah.
he has written a book, 31 Days of Transformation Sweep. And
Yeah.
so we have decided to take on the task of reading this book. It's a 31-day devotional reading book. And we have taken on the task the month of March to get into it. And so we wanted to bring him on to talk about it a little bit. And you know how we do, we get to rolling in our subject, and what happens, it happens. So hope everybody's having a good time, man. Thank y'all for showing up. Always join us in the chat if you have any questions. We'll throw them out there, and we'll kind of go for there. Pastor Theo, man, how you been?
Man, to all the bros, what's up? Thanks again for having me on, fam. Uh man, I'm gonna say I've been good, but I think, man, I am right now living my best, and my wife is good, my kids are good. It's not that we're not navigating things or dealing with crap or going through life and everything that it entails, but like I'm practicing everything I learned from all my failures, and I'm being 100. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm good because I see maturity in myself, right? Even at this level, I see maturity in myself. I see myself responding to situations like I would have responded in my head, like I responded in therapy, like I responded, with assistance. I see myself getting um, better at in person, in real time, not reverting or imploding. And that, man, I'm not perfect. I'm not always there yet. I can't wait for us to dive in some real stuff so I can be transparent, candid, and honest. For example, just to kind of set the tone for that level of transparency and being candid. I am maybe October around the time I'll be 3 years sober from pornography addiction. Um, three
That's what's
years
up.
sober, and I'm not knocking nobody that's still, hey, that's still how you put your fire out. Hey,
Yeah.
I feel you, but for me, at 9 years old, seeing my father threaten to kill us every day by cocking his 380 pistol and threatening to kill us before we got to go to school, and me finding medication through pornography and all that stuff and some other stuff. I'm about to be 40, and as a husband, father, pastor, leader, all the things, like I see me finally getting better. Not all the way there, but I'm getting better and I'm putting in the work. And that's why I'm good, fam. Like I'm proud of me.
Amen.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah.
And
So
you said something there, man. You say you're
Yeah.
proud of you, and it
Yeah.
kind of starts there, man, because we was just talking about before we got on live. We asked how everybody was doing, and Eric said we're doing good. but don't know everybody want to hear it.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, well, don't nobody
Things
want
are
to hear the
going wrong.
complaining
Yeah, nobody
if you
want to
ain't
hear that.
doing good.
Fact. Facts.
Right. And so it does. It starts with you, man.
Yeah.
If you can't find the goodness in yourself, the other people ain't looking for it.
Yeah.
You know.
Nah, man, Rod, it takes, man, a lot of people. I want people who are watching this and who will watch this. I want women, especially. I want you to try to understand it is not easy being a good man.
Right.
It's not. And also, too, and I said this at my father in law's funeral when we buried him about a year and a half ago. There's nothing more beautiful, man. And man, quote me on this. So I didn't have to put on a shirt. This some fire game I'm finna give, but it's just real talk. There is nothing more beautiful than an imperfect man striving to be better. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Facts. Yep.
Like bump
It's
off
all in the journey.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like if and
Yeah.
if and if I am choosing to to,
It's
to to do good and to do good by others when I
yep.
have all of the justifiable reasons, temptation, and opportunities to get my lick back or to smash something or, to be selfish.
Yeah.
Um, it's difficult. Last thing I say with that is, what did T'Chaka say to T'Challa when he was in um their land whenever you die and you go to the land of their ancestors.
Sisters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
T'Chaka told him, he was like, man, you will struggle, you will fail. It's hard to be a good king. It's difficult, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but I revel in the beauty of the attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You
That's
said a
where
lot when you mentioned that it's a choice. I think a lot of people take that for granted because a lot of people don't choose to even try. Don't
Mm,
choose to, don't choose to acknowledge that there's anything to fix. They, kind of
mm,
live in the excuses and wear that as a badge of honor and
yeah.
kind of use that to kind of give themselves a pass
Right.
for being imperfect versus using that as fuel to try to do better and be
Mm,
accountable. So you said a
come on.
lot, man.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, JP. Would you about to say something?
No,
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 I thought
no, no,
I
no.
seen you unmute. But no, but it's so true, man. I think people they like to live in that excuse. They want the easy way.
Yeah.
They don't want to have to
Yeah.
prove themselves. They don't want to have to show their worth. They want you to, if the easy way is to be able to blame something or somebody else or to say this is why. And so you should excuse me because
Mm,
I'm this, or you should excuse me because I had that, or you should
Yep.
excuse me because I went through whatever.
right.
And those are just excuses, and excuses amount to nothing. And so if we can get not just people, but especially our community to get away from those things,
Yeah.
we'll be so much stronger, just as black men. So
Facts.
I
Yeah.
100% agree. So
Yep.
So, Pastor Theo, what made you write this devotional? You say that you are called to your ministry is black men or men in
Mhm.
general. What caused you to write this devotional?
Um, if I were to jump into a time machine and go back and find um 14-year-old Theo in Purvis, Mississippi, because I had to leave Lumberton, what would I go back and tell myself? It's being the big the big I don't want to say big brother because I did have a big brother, but it's giving me the game in a way that I wish I had. But then also too, I'm qualified in this because as I have failed as a dad, as a husband, as a pastor, as a big brother, man, I've gained so much invaluable experience, and then my gifting from God to reach men where we're at. Like nobody wants to get in the mud and get in the trenches. They just throw us away. Infidelity, vices, um, because we didn't come up to your standard or whatever. Um, uh, even if you look at predominantly a lot of our churches, they're it's 2024 and we're still asking why there aren't men in the church. Because y'all, I almost said the N word, because y'all won't go out there where we at,
Yeah.
right? And so, man, I've been pastor now since I was 20 something, but as the pastor, senior pastor, lead pastor, it's going on almost a decade. I've had more men see revival through my BroFest men's retreat every year. 40 to 50 men, man, going back home, better leaders, husbands, fathers. Like, okay, I'm like, at some point, Terrence, I'm like, yo, okay, Theo, you him, right? Like, stop saying, like, you got something, like,
Yeah.
right? And just pour out from where you're at. You're never going to feel like you're qualified or you made it. And a lot of times, man, it's what I wish I had when I was younger is listening to men, right? And then uh, the Holy Spirit affirming wisdom that I can just compound and put into a formula. Man, I'm gonna keep it a book. We can have different men. Most of us, on our podcast tonight, we all know each other. We've been rocking with each other for a long time, but we're not from the same places. We got different situations going on. But I can unpack it in 5 minutes and spit some stuff to you guys, and all of us in the exact same place. I can connect the dots. For example, most men, we need respect.
Mhm.
We need that nurturing love. The same thing getting breastfed from our mom or laying in our mom's bosom. That's intimacy and sex, right? That's not something that's an obligation or an option. That's how we wire. We need that. That's I'll fix my own sandwich. You ain't even got to cook, but like
Yeah.
I need that though, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Respect that nurturing of love, and we need emotional connection. We need emotional connection. Tupac would paint a picture that he found love in the streets, right? Love with his gang, and that's true. There are people who have left homes, churches, organizations back to the streets. Why? Because it was a better choice? No, because they found an emotional connection. They found affirmation, security. They found consistency. And men, those three things, that's what we need. And we're told you can't cry, don't cry, tough it up, suck it up, man up. All these things throughout our development. When the truth of the matter is that we had an emotional capacity too. So a lot of the decisions we're making that are not the best decisions don't come from a place because we're bad men or we're not that smart or we got ill intent. It's because, man, for a long time we haven't had our emotional love bucket filled, and we're trying to figure that stuff out. So this ain't even the book. This is just the 31 day devotional. This ain't even the book is coming, but
Yeah.
this is just a imagine Ray Lewis and all of us in a huddle, right? That's how you read this book. I'm speaking, man. I'm speaking directly to you. I'm lengthy, but read it in a way like you're in a huddle in a football game, and you're gonna take these plays and run with it. And if you run with it, if you listen to what I'm telling you, day 1 to 31, and if you just apply some of the nuggets in there, like we're ready to go back out in the fourth quarter and try to score this last touchdown, you will shift your perspective and your thinking. And I promise you, you will see a direct improvement in your emotional, physical, mental, spiritual, even financial wellness. And so I know you'd ask for all that, big bro, but that's why, like, man, somebody got to come and tell us men, like, yo, no, man, ain't nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You're surviving, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay. Now let's add a couple of plays in here. Let's shoot the B gap instead of the A gap, right? Let's call a really audible really quick, right? So you can score. Just because you fumble one time doesn't mean you deserve to be off the field. See, all right, cool. Let me park. But yeah, that's what you see. I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate
Right.
about it, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Man,
it's good,
we
man.
all passionate.
You got a lot of great days, man. It's 31 days for those who
Yeah.
just joined us. 31 days of devotion, and I look at it, you broke it down. Each day is hitting something that's very vital for me. And for example, for those who may be looking for something like this, day 4 is a subject that not only men need, but it's something that women are asking for. They say they want this,
Right.
and I don't know if they prepare for it once they get it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the power of emotional intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and it's talking about nurturing healthy relationships, and that is a subject, especially in today's world where everybody's like, no, you got to be in tune with your emotions. I want you to open up to me. I want you to be able to tell me how you feel, when you feel that, whatever, whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then when you give people what they ask for, it's like, hey, wait a second, I need you to be
Right.
a man. You know,
And
you
Right.
that's
you
all it
you
is.
you
Right.
Yeah.
you too soft, you talking too much. So it's one of those things that we really need to kind of hone in, and everybody have an understanding, man and women, whether you
Mm-hmm.
friends or in a relationship, um for with another woman.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I mean, I love that one, man, and you was right on point talking about it earlier, because we're looking for that nurturing, just like we got from our mom,
Yeah.
just like we got from our family. But at the same time, we still have to be not just emotional intelligent for us, but also for our family. So yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's a big one. And that's like the confirmation that is, I think, the key for a lot of men to navigate this new world, right? Because we're not fighting for our lives every day. We're not, most of us not doing physical labor for work, right? We in a world where it's a lot more cerebral, and the thing that comes along with that is understanding.
Yeah.
I'm in this leadership institute, and one of the key things they say makes a leader great is emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And before being in this, I hadn't heard emotional intelligence kind of presented as an attribute of a leader or men, right? The only place I've ever heard a demand for emotional intelligence has come from women. But being in this institute, being around men who are leaders around the world, and the way that they break down what emotional intelligence gives you, which is a new perspective, right? So when you have emotional intelligence, you understand how other people perceive you. You understand how you come across to people. You understand more about yourself. And so having that understanding allows you to be more intentional about things you can control in the way you come across in just your life, right?
Right.
Frustrations with not being able to, connect with people and have relationships with people, and, understanding, oh, okay, like, well, I'm having an interaction with this person. I'm aware of what I brought to this interaction. It's not really going the way I'm thinking it's supposed to. Let me check the temperature, right? Because I'm aware of my emotions, I'm aware of their emotions, I'm aware of how I'm coming across. I'm noticing things about them as well. Is really to me is like the secret sauce almost.
Mm-hmm.
So the when I saw that in here, especially early on, that was I'm like my cuz locked in, man.
So Theo, how would you define emotional intelligence?
I think, and I'm not a psychology scholar, although I love psychology. Another great question, Terrence. I would define emotional intelligence as awareness of what's going in and what's coming out. Honestly, that's emotional intelligence is just awareness of what's coming and is going out. I'll give you an example. Me and my wife are in the car. We both working hard. Got to go get the kids. We're riding together because since I've retired from law enforcement last November, we're down to one car, and we're both locked in. Right, got things going on. She's knocking stuff out on her phone. I shouldn't be texting and driving, but I'm doing it. We're going to get the kids. We start talking about business. Start talking about the church, and then she says something, and or bring something up or ask me something, and I respond to her, and it's almost like I can feel heat coming out of my chest. Right now, you're trying to communicate something with force, but you realize that what's coming out of you now, um, it wasn't needed. It wasn't needed, and I'm like, oh crap, right? And so after we cool down a minute, I come back and apologize, like, yo, that was my tone, right? Emotional intelligence is my awareness that I directly impact what this person experiences, and I'm directly responsible for what flows out of me, regardless if I felt like I was in control or not. Like it's the work you're putting in. Like, cause bro, everything that comes out of us isn't us. You know what I'm saying? Like I know as a man, you know, we're rah rah, or we can, you know what I'm saying, or we can get to that level of that or that tone. But just because you felt anger doesn't mean that anger was appropriate or that anger was you, right? So it's the ability to be aware of that and then investigate on the back end. Now, where is that coming from, right? Um, and so that's how I define emotional intelligence. Another thing I add too is that there's a lot of focus on mental health, a lot of focus on physical health, but you also have to capitulate, like, all right, I gotta work on my emotional health too. Um, because the goal is for you to be in control of the how, or for you to have an awareness of where the how is coming from. I'll give you one more example, fam, and I hope I'm helping. And I'm just because it's us and we some bros and dealing with this particular episode. I'm gonna just use everyday common examples, right? I don't want to try to sound lofty. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's 10:30 at night. The kids just went to sleep, and I ain't seen my wife intimately in a couple of days. I didn't wash the dishes, done stuff, and I'm tired. When I get into bed, I'm like, okay, she got on some nice bed. In my head, I'm thinking, that's what's up. Like, let's go.
Tonight's the night.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just okay. Everything aligns. You know, she's still up. She didn't hit me with that, hey, I'm about to go to bed, but she's still on TikTok when I get into bed. Like, you ain't sleep. Bet.
Yeah.
Okay. And I engage her and she says, nah, no, babe, you know, and emotional awareness, bros, is like, what are you feeling in that moment, Theo? Be honest. Man, I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling rejected. Like, just because I'm a grown man doesn't mean I don't have these feelings. Now,
Yeah.
Theo, when the last time you felt rejected? Well, when your mom died at 7 and your dad gave you up for adoption, right? And that's real. So here I am now. I'm petty with Patrice. I ain't talking to her. I'm rolling over. I'm gonna go get on Pornhub or something like that, and then I'm gonna go pick up an extra shift at work, or I'm gonna ride around the block. I'm gonna do whatever I can to avoid her, right? I can't even investigate what's really going on her side because I haven't been honest about what's going on with me. And the truth of the matter is that how she responded to me triggered some whole other emotions that I haven't really healed from since I was a kid. And when you understand that no matter what, your boss, your wife, your girlfriend, the white man, the Negro down the street, the dude at the Starbucks line, no matter how someone responds to you, you are always responsible, right, for how you respond. And so the
Mhm.
work of improvement is not trying to change the other person or trying to change the other circumstances. Like, yo, let me go back and put enough work in. So regardless if my wife gives me some or not, regardless if
Mhm.
this white dude respects me or not, regardless if this person at Starbucks messes up my order or not, I can come out of a healthy place because I've done the work to improve myself. And the last thing I'm gonna say on this topic, and I hope y'all give me some more good questions. Other thing too is that my need to depend even on my wife's intimacy diminishes because now I'm finding fulfillment in my own emotional capacity, right? My happiness, my acceptance, healing from those places of rejection or abandonment and having put in the work. Now, this ain't no overnight process. This is years of therapy, years of work, even now, putting in the work to refortify that place inside of Theo, inside of you, that I am worth it, that I am valuable, I am loved, I am strong, and I am incredible. But we have to go back and put that work in, and go back to emotional awareness. To the original question, is me being aware of the work needed to get there. That's
Yeah.
it.
When I as you was talking, and I'm just thinking of the word intelligence. My mind went to JP. JP has a football intelligence that surpasses all of us.
Okay.
JP can talk when JP break down different things, break down different ideas about the game that we probably saw one thing of it, but he saw a completely different point of view of it because he's a coach.
Mm.
Because he's been doing this for years. So the whole idea of intelligence can be is what work that you are you putting into knowing this subject so that you can have all these different point of views. And by having these different point of views, being able to operate a certain way, but not only operate a certain way, show other folks how to operate that way as well.
Facts.
Yeah. When we talk about this, man, and last night I don't know why I was up kind of late, and for some reason I was just thinking and meditating on the game of chess. You know, most of us, few of us played chess. We kind of when we got to college, we got a lot of y'all lost to me in chess, and but as we played that game, you think about the pieces that are on that board. And for us, we say it all the time, life is chess, not checkers. And if you think about that king, the king takes his move one move at a time.
Mhm.
Everything that he does is very important. No matter how powerful we think any of the other pieces are, the game is over when the king is done. You know, every piece can be replaced based on the work that is done. If you get a pawn to the end, you can get a new queen, you can get a new knight, whatever, whatever. But there's only one king, there's only one you. And so taking that time, one step at a time, being aware of what you're doing, where you're going, how you doing it, thinking before you do it. Because when the king move, everybody pays attention.
Right.
You know. And so you got
Facts.
to have, like Terrence was saying, you got to become an expert of yourself.
Yep.
You have to understand who you are, so that you can lead and guide everyone else. So that's kind of what I got out of emotional intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's
Now,
powerful.
and like I said, I've been looking through all the contents and days and everything. There was one that stood out to me, and I may go back
Come
to
on.
another one. But on
Okay.
day 15,
Okay.
the title of it is "Rites of Passage
Mm.
and Redefine Masculinity." And so it stood out to me because I'm like, rite of passage. What's my rite of passage with my masculinity? So just give me an ideal of what you were thinking for that. It stuck in me every time I roll through it. I always come back to that one. I'm like, okay, what's my rite of passage as I define my masculinity?
So I wanna this is the marketing side of me now. I'm gonna give the viewer and the audience just enough where they gotta go back and buy it, but also answer your question.
Yeah.
And I did pull out some snippets, excerpts of the book tonight that I want to share before we get off. But there is a movie or a picture in our heads that was either given to us or we adapted someone else's or we evolved ours of what we should be when we become a man. Right? This checkered finish line, or this when I do this, I'm gonna be here. Like if I accomplish this, I'm gonna be here. And it's either power, money, sex, something along the line of those statuses where we have already verified what we will become, right? But in a way, the truth of it is that you are today who you've always been. And it's not this pursuit of becoming yourself. It's acceptance. Fam, like I don't know if I can hit this hard enough. Like acceptance is everything. Acceptance is everything. You will find it difficult. A man will find it difficult. Man, you know how many jobs we apply for that we're overqualified for that we get turned down.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much money we didn't missed out on trying to do the right thing, trying to make sacrifices for family. Like it's stuff our families don't even know that we've done and putting ourselves on the back burner for them, right? But the disappointment comes because we've been groomed to get acceptance from this status or from somebody else. Nah, man, I arrive when I accept myself. Truth of the matter is, man, like all of us on this podcast right now, what we had to overcome to get here. I ain't talking about no worldly acclaim. I'm talking about like, man, like to be cognitive of where you are right now and how you've had to fight to be here, your mental state, your emotional state. And I'm not saying you're all together. Like none of us are perfect. Not saying everything is all right, but you haven't quit yet. Acceptance. Acceptance is there is nothing wrong with me. I was made in his image. So I so I don't develop a version of masculinity that's not only outside of his will, but outside of my capacity as well. And and acceptance as your first checkpoint, right? Will lead to the other ones. So that's all I'm gonna say to that. That's such a great question. You bring out chapter 15. I'm like, yo, because I got some favorite chapters of my own as well. That was such a good one, Rod.
Cool.
Yeah,
I was overseas doing a mission trip, and we want to hear about you and your wife mission trip y'all got coming up.
Yeah.
I was overseas on a mission trip. I was with a friend, and we was talking and everything like that, and we had this comment. We was saying like he made this statement as in, "I'm not a man's like you," and in my head, I'm like, I say that about you. I'm not a man's man like you. You are a police lieutenant. You operate in a training academy. You've been doing self defense for all these years, and you have all these different skills. And in my mind, you are the example of a man's man. And then in his mind, I'm that example of it. And I never looked at myself that way until he said that.
Yeah.
It's like, why do I have to get validation from somebody else? Why can't I get that? Why? And when you say that true manhood, crossing over to manhood, is when you recognize when you accept who you are. No one should have to bring that to light. You should be able to see that within yourself, and I think that's the perfect example of when you have crossed over to that. Because I said to myself, you know what I am.
yeah,
Rose out.
yeah, for real.
Look at my resume.
Yep. Yeah, the in that same vein for me, getting to a point where like in my mind I always had this image of kind of what a man was as far as kind of how he moved and interacted with people. Specifically, when dealing with like a wife or other people that you're supposed to be taken care of.
Yeah.
The man is supposed to be, solid, kind of, stable. In my mind, like the woman, she's got a different task in life. So she's like up, down, bounce all around. As the man, you kind of set the tone, like you're consistent. And in attempting to provide that without having any emotional training, it became nonchalant and disconnected, because that's really the only way, without understanding what you're doing, that you stay consistent and stable. And so now I'm on a path of, gaining emotional intelligence. And the first part of that is understanding and recognizing when you feel emotions and trying to understand them. And so similar to you, I have some times where I respond because I'm, trying to be more aware of my emotions. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna let you know how I'm feeling, and it don't come out right, and I got to go back and apologize about it later. But the more comfortable I get with feeling the emotions, I can start to feel them without letting them dictate my actions, which is the important piece. And so now I'm getting more to a point where I can hear things that might set me off or rub me the wrong way, but I'm able to stay focused on the thing that's important in the conversation or at the time, right? My emotions are valid, but they're not the most important thing. And so being able to stay like as a man, being able to go from situation to situation and know myself, to me that's been kind of my man awakening, and it's kind of paying dividends.
Can I want I felt led to share something right there, and this is kind of my pastoral side kicking in now, and I want to share something, and this is for any of my bros tonight on the podcast, or anybody who's watching. This is what I want to share. And make sure I captured how I felt it.
Facts.
Um, Things like exercise, hiking, fishing, therapy,
Mm-hmm.
counseling, um, meditating, journaling, um, all of these healthy practices, right? This is what I consider the work. Deep diving. Deep diving is I'm gonna give you all these tools real quick. A deep dive is um uh what am I feeling? When did I start feeling it for the first time? Why did I start feeling it? What's happening while I'm feeling it? It helps you to investigate the emotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm giving you all that tool, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I felt led to share. Never stop putting in the work to improve, even when your family or the world requires you not to.
Mm.
Right. That's a good one.
That
Yeah.
there's this place of um contentment that's a lie. Like, cause your wife ain't
Mm.
saying nothing, or your kids aren't saying nothing, your boss ain't saying nothing. Nobody in your oikos in your life is requiring you to progress. That you're good, they happy with you,
Yeah.
right? Man, never believe that,
Right.
That's a
because
lie.
you're it's a lie. Because here's what it does. Even if they're being honest about what they require of you, that you're good, you don't have to, you still die.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
You still
Yep.
die because you stop.
Yeah.
Man, no matter how healthy I get or how much I improve in my maturity, my emotional maturity, man, I am still discovering stuff. And I don't want someone else's contentment with where I am to make me lazy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what
It's
I'm saying? Go ahead, go ahead, go
Mm.
ahead, go
no,
ahead.
no, it's true what
Yeah.
you're saying is so true, because if we look at everything in life the way we look at our weight gain, because what
Yep.
you said, like if we all wanted to get to a certain weight, if we all wanted to get to 150 pounds, when we got there, we said, "Oh, I'm here. I don't have to exercise no more. I
Right,
don't have to eat right no more."
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna revert back to what you was. And
right.
so it's the same
Yep.
way. If you're doing all the things that you perceive to be right emotionally or whatever, as far as you've been a leader or whatever it is, and if you stop doing what you need to do, no, or doing what got you there, and you
Yeah,
say, "Well, I'm good. I'm here. I don't have
Yep.
to change anymore. I don't have to adapt anymore." You're gonna
right.
revert back to who you was before, because,
Fact.
like you said, you're not continuing to grow. And change is important. I think we get afraid of change because we get comfortable, and we like, "Hey, I'm here. I have control, or it perceives that I have control over what I understand." And
Mm-hmm.
while your foundation is crumbling, uh,
Facts.
Yeah.
because everything looks okay on the outside.
Facts. Man,
Yeah.
right to that point, man, like, and y'all, boy, this is again, I'm passionate about this. My favorite player is Kobe, right? The
Kobe.
Mamba mentality, and all of the ethos, all of the ethos. But I got a goal this year. I'm 40, and I want abs. I want abs.
Mm.
I know.
Yeah.
And and that dad bod, boy, listen,
It's strong. The
it
dad
man,
bod strong, man.
that thing, boy, is like my. I almost cracked a in-law joke. But that thing is like an in-law. They ain't going nowhere. Listen,
When you turn
uh,
40, Doc?
October.
October 15th.
I feel 40.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Yep.
my
We
guy, right?
we
The
all
October
turn 40 in
babies.
October. Me, you, and
Listen,
Sam.
that's crazy.
Yep.
So like
Me,
I feel 40 now. Like I want abs and I want to be able to dunk a basketball at 40. Now, is my wife, and I'm just using Patrice as an example, is my wife requiring me to have abs? No. Is the young teenagers in my church requiring me to dunk? Nah, right? And but man, bump them. It's this. I want this, right? Like this
mhm.
is because Rod, to your point, if I don't set a goal for myself to improve in an area, that same Theo that's implosive, that's a manipulator, that's greedy, that's a risk taker, that's addicted to sex or lust, that will go and lie about what he's doing, he's still there. That same
Mm-hmm.
liar is still there. Like, I ain't going nowhere. And if I don't continue to focus on improving in a certain area, I will revert. I will burn everything down. I still have that same um um proclivity in there. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like, so like I can't be content. And I also can't say, well, I ain't doing that no more. I'm getting better in this. Like, no, like until God takes me home, there's internal work to be done. And I'll talk about this in the ebook. Um, towards the end of the chapters. Also, too, it's about, man, who's coming behind me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's,
Yep.
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not saying to the person that's listening, I'm not saying, man, you're gonna get there overnight. What I am saying is, man, stop making all them doggone excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Facts.
like, you ain't, you like, I understand the strife. I get it. I understand the limited resource. What I don't speak the language of, what I don't understand is making excuses.
Hmm.
You
Yep.
have no reason why you can't be where you aspire to be. You ain't got no reason. Dr. Carolyn Leaf, who is one of my muses, um, she's a psychologist and a neurologist. She's brilliant. You can follow her on Instagram. She says this quote, and I quote her all the time: "No matter what was done to you, fam, no matter what they did to you, no matter what they said to you, or no matter what they or God took away from you, man, you still have a choice.
Right.
They
Yep.
can't take your choice." And
Yep.
so I feel that, man, because as a man, like, it is not too late for you to drop those pounds or for you to drop those figurative weights, right? Those
Yeah.
emotional weights. Like, it's not too late. Like, you ain't gotta be content where you're at. And again, to my point, and I'm waiting you guys for the next point or the next question. Again, because nobody else is requiring it from you, does not mean it's okay for you to be where you're at.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
I
absolutely
totally
right.
agree. Yeah, man. I think it's that's my testimony as far as being on the journey trying to learn more about myself
Yeah. Yeah.
and find out that I had ADHD and just what that cycle looks like
Mm,
and understanding the impacts and going back and seeing all the areas that it affected me in.
yeah.
And that's literally like the cycle, right? I can be on fire about something today and forget about it tomorrow. And for the longest, not for the longest time, well, yeah, I identified, like I knew that about myself. I didn't know why, I didn't know what it
Right.
was, but it literally crippled me from going after things, from pursuing things. And the biggest thing I learned was to not identify with the failures. Like
Come on.
that's not who I am. That
Right.
might have been what I did, but
Right.
I always have a choice to do
Right.
something different. And
Fact.
literally, when me and Ashley would be talking and, we'd be meeting up, doing our Sunday devotional, I ask her what she need from me. And, I tell her what I need is just, um, motivation, right? Just, my biggest thing is consistency. That's my struggle. That's, you know, especially with ADHD, that's really a big struggle, right? It's times there are things that I'm like definitely passionate about that I struggle to follow through on. And so anytime I can, you know, get some new piece of understanding or something that helps me, stay on that path, like I'm soaking it up right now.
Facts.
And that's one that really, really resonated with me.
Facts.
100%, man. That's real. And I think for any of the ladies that may be watching now or may watch it later or whatever the case may be, I want you to really listen to what each one of these men have said. a lot of times you ask a question, what do you want from me? Because we can quickly tell us what you want from us. The provision, the safety, and so on and so on. But real men can articulate what they need from you. And yes, we do need the affection and the sex. That's part of it, but that's not the only thing.
Right.
Like some of us need motivation, some of us need support, some of us need a health mate. Not and when you hear those things, that don't mean I need somebody to be at the house cooking and cleaning all day. That is
Yeah.
not what somebody. That's not what you're saying. We need somebody who's gonna truly be down for the advancement of yourself and for me. Somebody who's willing to be a teammate. You know, and understand that we're trying to do this together. We want you to be the queen on the chessboard, but not be foolish, because the foolish queen always get taken. But the one who understands where the king is and understand the thing that she supposed to do, she the most powerful piece on the board when she understands who she is and what the goal is. And when you foolish, you get took every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Facts.
you get out there with your queen and she get to rolling, doing her thing, trying to show off in front of everybody. 3 moves later, she out of there. And so it's the same thing, man. Life is the same way,
Yeah.
And to give to their point, you get foolish on that board and you get took. The pawns are there. If the pawns stay straight, they become the new queen. So you're replaceable. And that's the part that we don't talk about as men to women too often, because what we hear all the time is, oh, I got plenty of men out here willing to buy me clothes or willing to take care of me, willing to do whatever. And that's fine. I'm not saying you do your thing, do what you got. But understand, you can be replaced too. It's some women out here willing to get down with the get down.
All day. All day, every day.
And just to help Rod out a little bit, and we have no desire for you to be replaced, and sometimes you can get replaced without us even realizing it.
That's
As
true.
in, or you realizing either, where there's a need in our life, and we want it from you, but we can't get it from you, and then we find it somewhere else.
Yep.
It's not a smart thing. It's not the right thing. But when there's a void, something has to fill that void. And of course, you want to put positive stuff in there to fill that void. You want to make sure that you put the things that need to be there. But sometimes that bad stuff slip in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, man. Especially the way us men are taught. We're not taught to wait for somebody else to handle something. We taught to go get it, whether it's something good or something bad. As a man, getting stuff on your own is kind of like a trademark, right? And so a lot of times, guys might be getting stuff bad, filling in stuff that's that's foolish. But either way, we gonna be all right.
Right.
We gonna be all right. We got a different struggle. Finding some pleasure ain't a struggle most men have.
Listen, my when I was in Birmingham, when I first moved to Birmingham, and I finally moved out of my wife's grandparents' home. Before me and her got married, I got a condo or a townhome in Homewood, and it was like where our a lot of the Latino population lived. I got a townhome I can afford, right? I got moved in there, whatever, and Patrice and my mother-in-law, they came in there, and I ain't had no couch. I had my TV, my play Xbox. I had an air mattress, and up there in the loft was all my laundry and all my clothes scattered in different piles. And it's lit. I'm straight. I'm straight. Listen. I know it blows their minds. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. But like, ain't there? What you talking about? I don't need that. Man, I'm Gucci. I'm like, to this day, and it just blows women's minds how if they can understand just how simple we really are as men.
Yeah.
Like, man, we don't. But
Hey,
that's the picture I wanted to paint. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Somebody said something that stuck with me years ago. They were like, men talk all this stuff, men got, big cars and big houses, all this stuff. But the reality is, if a man could get the woman he wanted in a box, all men would be sleeping in boxes. Like that's kind of how we are. We very
Yeah.
simple. We're very like it's our nature to be pleasure driven, to be conquerors. And so figuring out how to, conquer whatever you want
Mhm.
is in our nature, but the way the world works, that's, it requires a lot more than that
Yeah.
to get what you really want.
Yeah.
And a lot of times pursuing what you want get you in trouble.
Hey, man, y'all, my wife, she's traveling, she's preaching, she's leading conferences, she's hosting healing and deliverance services. Her and her team are moving. And man, anytime she's not home for like over a day or two, man, I don't even sleep in our bed. I make a pallet. I got the Lord and bless. I got a nice little house.
Mm-hmm.
The kids are good. Man, I'm somewhere like I'm back home, Mississippi, make pallet on the floor, straight. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel you, man.
I'm a whole couch person.
Listen,
I can sleep good
man,
on the couch
the
when I'm by
best
myself.
sleep. The
Hey,
best sleep.
Roll up and keep on moving.
Yeah.
shoot. I
Yep.
feel you, man.
How much time we got? I want to read something to y'all before we get too far going. I don't know how much time y'all got. It's
Yeah.
you know okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, bet.
Yeah.
So man, so Rod, to your point, because you pulled out chapter 15. So chapter 6 deals with healthy connections. Chapter 9 deals with balance and fulfillment. Those are two of my favorite chapters. But chapter 14 deals with mental and emotional wellness. And I want to read you guys an excerpt from another one of my favorite chapters, chapter 10, dealing with healthy relationships, right? And it's called nurturing healthy relationships, strengthening connections that matter. And I'm gonna give the viewers some insight to how to read the book. It's in man talk. I'm mansplaining stuff, and then I'm talking as if we're in a huddle. So that's how I'm gonna read it. So here's the wisdom and where it comes in. You got to be intentional. Just like a quarterback scanning the field for the perfect throw, you need to scan your life and make the right calls. Prioritize time with your spouse, kids, and your friends. Take a leaf out of the sports playbook. The best teams communicate seamlessly, and so should you. Speaking of communication, let's talk stats for a moment. Stats don't just belong on the sports field, they matter in relationships too. Studies have shown that effective communication is the MVP of strong bonds. It's like the winning strategy that takes you from the bench to the starting lineup. Listen actively, understand perspectives, and hey, throw in a bit of locker room humor now and then. It's the secret sauce. But wait, there's more. Trust and intimacy, my man. They're like the offensive line protecting the quarterback. Without them, things crumble. Build trust by being reliable, by keeping promises. Intimacy, well, that's the game winning touchdown. Share your thoughts, feelings, and yeah, your vulnerabilities too. Remember, relationships need care like your body needs that post game recovery. That's where self care comes in. Just like an athlete needs rest, you need your personal time. And let's be real, being a man, life can sometimes throw stress your way. We all know that stress is like that opponent you have to take down. But hey, laugh at it, use your humor, and tackle it head on. It's like breaking through the defensive line. It's tough, but you've got the strength. So it's this attack, this mentality, this approach, little bit here and there on how you can strategically go at these relationships. Here's what I'll say, even from that chapter, to kind of unpack it. Um, no relationship is successful without intentionality,
Mhm.
Mm.
even with yourself. So again, this is like the little appetizer. If you read this devotion, y'all start y'all 31 days in March. Do not go ahead. We'll take one day at a time and pick it apart. Take a line or a sentence, and then in it, I give you key points, takeaways. I even have a section, one called inspiration, that has a quote and a scripture, and a whole section that's in man code. It literally says, "Run this play today."
Yeah, I saw that.
Just do this. Don't do nothing else. Do this.
Yeah.
Right? Just do this. Do it for today. Don't do no extra. This is not a book you're going to knock out and consume. No, it's I'm giving you game. I'm giving you the code.
Yeah.
But to unpack it again, when it comes to strengthening your connections, brotherhood, the bonds we have. Y'all, I remember we used to put all our Xboxes together with that long Ethernet cord and play Gears of War to like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Right? And I ain't gonna lie, I never thought RC was ever going. What's our bro name? He played football. RC.
Ricardo.
Yeah.
Ricardo.
I ain't
Yeah.
never think Ricardo's gonna get married. Like,
Hey.
I thought like he'll be single for a long time. He was like cool with whatever. But I mean, we used to stay up all night playing Gears of War. Like that stuff was important, which is like foundations for our brotherhood today. I haven't forgot that.
Yeah.
But it's the intentionality with whether you're divorced and you're gonna get married again, or you're just gonna you know stay solo dolo with your kids, with your parents, with your community. Like little pushes and nudges here, right? That over. I'm gonna give you one more example. I tried golf. I'm trash at it. I'm trash.
Everybody trash.
I was out there with one of our church supporters, one of my big bros. I love him to death. He's like, Theo, man, come play golf with me. I was like, cool. And they tell you that how do they say it? Like the golf course will fool you, it'll spoil you. Cause my first time on the green putting,
It was great, wasn't it?
bro. I'm Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the N word again. Like Negro, like I'm him. Bro, I'm Eagle Birdie. I'm money.
I'm an athlete.
Bro, what? Man, I ain't seen the whole sense. Like, and I just like, I ain't doing this, man. But I never forget the wisdom I got was, man, you take it one. You when you at hole one, you at hole one. When you at hole five, you at hole five. Thinking about hole 18 at hole 5, you're gonna be way over par, gonna be out of the game, you're gonna be out of some money. You literally take it one hole at a time, and you're intentional about that right there. I know as a husband, I know I'm married up, I know I'm blessed. I'm still finding things out about my wife that I will never catch her. I'm just blessed.
Right.
Ain't no way I'm supposed to be with this woman. Ain't no way, man. But I know I'm going to let her down, even when I'm trying to fight to be fully present, watching shows on the couch and spending time with her. I'm not going to not mess up. My intentionality is, can I make some improvements here by asking her questions about the show? Can I make some improvements here about not bringing my laptop downstairs? Can I make some improvements here about when my kids get in the minivan, y'all, in the car out of line? Don't just say, well, how was your day? That's easy. That's easy money, right? Instead, Theo, you can give a little bit of effort and some intentionality and be like, okay, what was the highlight of your day? What was the best part about your day? And why is that? Right. And that's one hole at a time. And when I notice over a period of time, over some increments, right, I've strengthened those connections. And when I look at my family or my relationships by the next 6 months, by the end of the year, this gap I've made up in improvement and how I've given myself some margin, right, and I've excelled. That's what I'm talking about, man. It's this transformation, man. You know what I'm saying? It's this transformation. Like, yo, stop running that trap. It ain't, they scouted you already, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, they see that. Run the sweep, right? Stop going for zero routes. Let's go death by 1,000 cuts. Let's throw it under the cover 3. You know what I'm saying? I see the shades. I see, you know what I'm saying? So like to this point, and I'm gonna pass the microphone back to y'all. Like, you allow people to make the adjustments you need to make seem so grand, which can be intimidating and nobody really wants to do. I'm not asking you to change overnight. I'm asking you to make an adjustment. But you have to be intentional about it, right? And if you just do it over a period of time, I promise you, by the end of 31 days, you're going to be the best version of yourself that you were this time the month before. Intentionality.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. That's a great way to end it there, man. Be intentional with the things that you have and the things that you're looking for and where you want to go. Man, we want to put it back up there one more time. This is what we're getting into. It's the 31 man's formation.
Yeah.
Sweet. 31 days of men devotional. So we're all gonna start reading it.
Let's go.
On March the 1st.
Let's
31
go.
days in March. We're gonna read one every day. And we'll probably try to highlight every Wednesday that we do one at least that day. Just say, hey, this is kind of how we feel. This is things that we're learning from the book. So we encourage you all to grab the book. For those who may not know, the book is extremely reasonable. It's like $10, man. He giving it away. And so please support the brother. Get the book. You can get it at theoschaefer.com. I am going to put that in the chat now.
theoschaefer.com /31 days. And one more plug, Rod, since we're switching. And if you're a bro and you want to, take your step of improvement even further, I have a men's cohort that meets every week called the Roar Mentorship. Bros and dudes striving to be better, CEOs, coaches, and all that. Every Tuesday at 6:30 to 7 p.m., we meet online. It's the roarmentorship.com, my men's cohort. And also, if you just need like a big bro or a life coach or support, you can go to theoschaefer.com and scroll down and you will see you could book a free 15-minute consultation with me. And man, just allow me to do life with you, because we all need the help. You see what I'm saying? So that's the book, theoschaefer.com, 31 days. Also, you can go to ROAR roarmentorship.com. And the men's cohort, man, is dope. Matter of fact, when you sign up for my men's cohort, you get this book for free. Every Tuesday night we rock out. We work through our stuff. And there's other little projects I give you here and there to work on things, but it just takes your level of development and growth in your emotional, mental, and spiritual resiliency to the next level. Or you can also sign up, man, for a free consultation with me at theoschaefer.com. Would love to do life with you, man, and rock out with you and help you see the best version of yourself yet. That's for real. Okay. And I appreciate you guys having me on and supporting y'all as always and supporting me.
Man, we thank you. We thank you for coming, man. We appreciate that. Another for us, Department 4A, another year in the books, another great show. Pastor Theo never fails us, man. We thank you, and really want to say really thank you, because we know you're on the East Coast, and so you're staying up even an hour later than normal. So, we really
messing up your game time.
Yeah,
listen, hey Terrence, it's either gonna be with my wife or with this PlayStation. Might be this PlayStation way, you know what I'm saying? So, y'all are worth it. Praise the Lord, amen.
Hey, we appreciate it, man.
So before we go, fellas, you got anything before we go?
Man, I just appreciate my brother. Always a fresh a wind, fresh breath.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And appreciate the honesty, man. That's the I think you're really on to something especially with dealing with men. Like, when you establish that authenticity and that consistency, you're doing a lot, man.
Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that was great, Theo. And like everybody else saying, man, keep allowing the Lord to use you and keep humbling yourself and let him use you. Because like you said, you speaking a lot, but everyone, you saying what people don't want to say,
Yeah.
and that means a lot.
Appreciate it, coach. Yes, sir.
So, for sure. Well, man, we appreciate it again. Hope everybody again been having a great first of the year. It's just February. We're getting into March. There's one more day of Black History. For those who may not know, there's 29 days in this particular month. So, um, give it one more day. They ain't gonna kill you. One more day of Black History. Let's get it in. And like always, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get up out of here. Deuces.
Peace.
Full circle.